The internet is ablaze with rumors following the horrific incident that sent fans into a frenzy when Rasheeda was treated disrespectfully during the recent ups and downs. According to witnesses, Kirk lost all control, which led to a vicious attack that horrified Rasheeda. What began as a heated argument quickly turned into something far more serious when others close to the couple disclosed concerning information. Social media is exploding with responses, and everyone is waiting for answers. Was Kirk going overboard this time? Why did this explosive event occur? The couple's turbulent past might change as a result of this incident. As we reveal the full story of what happened behind closed doors, the responses of their closest friends and family, and the possible ramifications for Kirk and Rasheeda's future, keep an eye out here. Grab some popcorn because this scandal is too bizarre to ignore. It began as just another night for Kirk, Frost, and Rasheeda, but nobody could have predicted how quickly things would spiral out of control. Above all, how is Rasheeda doing following this experience? There is disagreement among Kirk's supporters. Some prefer Kirk, while others seek severe punishments. The couple had been bickering behind closed doors for weeks, according to witnesses, but this time things took a sudden and sinister turn. According to others close to the couple, tensions had been building for some time, and this night was the tipping point. It began as a really trivial argument, one of those typical couples arguments, but it quickly escalated into a verbal fight. Rasheeda, who is known for maintaining her composure, initially attempted to defuse the situation because she didn't want it to get out of hand, especially since they were in. People began to pay attention to them. Some were so horrified by what they were seeing that they whispered in low tones, while others took out their phones to record the contentious conversation. Kirk, however, would not allow it. His frustration had been repressed for too long, and now it was all blowing out in his face. Witnesses reported that he was talking louder and moving back and forth. Rasheeda tried to flee when she realized that things were getting dangerous, but Kirk wasn't done. The tense look in Kirk's eyes sent shivers down the spines of all who watched. The specifics of what happened next are still up for debate, but one thing is certain: Rasheeda was shocked. She staggered back, her face expressing a mixture of anguish and bewilderment as the audience gasped, trying to comprehend what they had just witnessed. She never imagined Kirk would actually go too far because he had always been reckless and had a tendency to let his emotions run wild. But this time it was different. She knew that things would never improve since this was personal. In a couple of minutes, the harm was done. The cameras were rolling, and the video was going viral on social media as the crowd hurried forward, some to console Rasheeda and others to confront Kirk. Someone in the audience shouted at Kirk right away, "What the hell, man?" Furious, repulsive, and demanding that Kirk be held responsible. The hashtags #ProtectRasheeda and #PerkFrost quickly became popular. Rasheeda sought to escape the chaos that surrounded her. She was still processing everything. She was breathing in short, erratic breaths, and her hands were shaking as she reached for her phone. For a moment, Kirk stood there, staring at her, his face unreadable, as if he wanted to take everything back. However, his jaw tightened, and he turned and stormed away without saying another word, disappearing into the darkness. Though they were Rasheeda's closest friends, there was still much work to be done. Had been informed in advance, and this would not be disregarded. One of Kirk's longtime friends, Scrappy, was among the first to learn of the incident and immediately called Kirk. The conversation was heated, tense, and full of explosives. "Dude, what the hell is wrong with you? You've gone utterly insane." Kirk was in no mood to talk, and he hardly offered Scrappy a nod before hanging up, despite the anger and disbelief in Scrappy's voice. Rasheeda was crying and had shut herself off from the outside world in her bedroom at home. The media was portraying Kirk as the antagonist, but was there more to the story? Several insiders claimed that Kirk has recently been dealing with personal difficulties, business problems, and a growing sense of hostility. Had all of that finally pushed him over the line, or was this the man who gave in to his emotions? She was trying to make sense of what had happened while her phone was ringing nonstop with texts from fans, family, and friends. Some were offering assistance, while others were seeking answers. As she sat there reading the headlines, Rasheeda realized that this was about more than one night. Throughout the years of betrayal, she had forgiven him innumerable times, and she had always been expected to remain calm while he did as he pleased. She would always remember the public humiliation she had experienced. The true concern was whether Kirk would find a way to spend money, if she would file charges, or whether she would go forever. This is done in an attempt to downplay how serious it was being portrayed. The world was watching her, waiting to see what she would do, and she had no idea that the storm was just getting started. As the evening wore on, the chaos surrounding Kirk and Rasheeda's shocking argument only became worse. The story was immediately picked up by news outlets, and by midnight, social media was already exploding with responses. By midnight, almost all of the major gossip blogs had reported on the story, each adding further information. Supporters flooded Rasheeda's Instagram, and Kirk's comment section became a battleground of outrage. But while everyone else assumed Rasheeda couldn't respond, she had withdrawn into her bedroom and tried to understand what had happened. The phone was buzzing with calls from friends, texts from her team, and even messages from people she hadn't spoken to in years, but she couldn't bring herself to respond. It was impossible to cope with the reality of what had transpired. Kirk disappeared after storming out, becoming completely silent, avoiding all calls, and refusing to speak to anyone, not even his closest friends, who were suggesting that he might have HED himself. The drama was already at its height, but it took a turn when a major gossip website got shocking accusations from an anonymous source claiming to be associated with Kirk. They noted that although Kirk had lost control in this way previously, it had never been captured on camera. Others claimed that he was up in a hotel somewhere trying to avoid the wrath, and that he was planning how to spin the issue before it got worse. The news shocked the internet, and instead of just blaming Kirk for one incident, people started to look at every facet of the relationship, even though fans were already incensed. Had Rasheeda suffered in silence all this time? Was anyone aware of Kirk's lethal nature? The rumors intensified by the minute, based on historical footage from Love and Hip Hop from times where Kirk allegedly covered for him on a regular basis, making excuses and hiding things to preserve their reputation. Had yelled at Rasheeda anytime she displayed any symptoms of distress, and everyone looked back at every argument and heated exchange to see evidence that this had been going on for years. Some fans even launched a campaign calling for Rasheeda to leave Kirk permanently using the hashtag Rasheeda. However, Rasheeda was still attempting to decide what to do next while the internet was busily compiling the information. Even after Kirk had previously denigrated her, she had supported him for years and had forgiven everything, including the betrayals, infidelity scandals, and continued disdain. But she couldn't ignore it though. This time it wasn't just a betrayal. Her best friend Candy Burris, who had always been protective of Rasheeda and was the one to break the bad news to her, was among the first to approach her. Candy heard Rasheeda say, "You can't let this slide. This isn't just about you and Kirk anymore," with firmness. "I know, Candy, but you don't understand. If I go public, if I say something, it's over. Everything we worked for, everything we built is gone," Rasheeda remarked as she massaged her temples. "It vanished the moment he touched you." For years, Rasheeda had told herself that as long as she could keep her cool and conceal the drama, everything would be fine. Now that everyone knew, however, there was no more hiding, and she had to make a decision. Even while Kirk remained hidden, people were still searching for him. At a pub in Atlanta, he was allegedly spotted drinking too much and acting as if nothing had happened. Some even said he was photographed with a voicemail that Kirk allegedly left to a friend right after the incident was leaked, as if things couldn't get much worse. On the recording, he sounded upset and agitated, but not at himself. Instead, he was blaming Rasheeda for putting me in this predicament. Kirk's voice could be heard stating, "She knows how to get under my skin, and now she's acting like the victim, but I'm not going to let it happen." The response was swift and harsh, and even well-known individuals began criticizing Kirk for his actions. Rasheeda remained silent as the outcry grew, knowing that her next comments would make the difference, despite the opinions of other celebrities, such as those from Love, Hip Hop, and beyond. Their marriage would have ended if she had spoken out against Kirk, but if she had remained silent, everyone would have assumed she was protecting him. Tamar Braxton wrote, "There is no excuse for what Kirk did. Rasheeda deserves better." And the following morning, she decided she could not allow that to happen. She grabbed her phone, took a deep breath, and hit the Go Live button on Instagram. As soon as her face showed on the screen, thousands of people flocked to hear her remarks. Her hands were shaking a little, but she was speaking calmly. She spoke with sorrow in her eyes. "I wish I could tell you that everything you've heard is a lie, but it's not Kirk. He crossed the line, and I can't act like it didn't happen," she said. Although encouraging comments were all over the chat, Rasheeda wasn't finished yet. "I know you'll have many questions." When Rasheeda ended her Instagram live, the internet flew into a full-blown panic. "I don't know what happens next, but I'm done protecting someone who wouldn't do the same for me." Videos of her shaking voice quickly went popular on TikTok and Twitter in the West, and her heartbreaking speech was replicated on all the main blogs. "I've stood by this man, I've defended him, I've forgiven him, and I've tried to see the good in him, but this was different." Rasheeda went from being a reality TV star embroiled in yet another incident to becoming the face of resilience after receiving nearly instant support from fans and other celebrities for the first time in her career. Although they applauded her courage for speaking up, they were worried about what would happen next. Would she file for divorce? Would Kirk react? And most importantly, would she be safe? Meanwhile, Kirk was not on Instagram, which was completely silent. No photos, no stories, which was unusual for him since he usually would be the first to clap back, give out cryptic clues, or attempt to sway the narrative in his favor. But this time he was growing increasingly quiet. It didn't last long though, as those close to Kirk said that when an exclusive article appeared on a popular gossip website hours after Rasheeda's appearance, he became enraged about the way Rasheeda handled the situation. Instead of expressing regret or accepting responsibility, Kirk reportedly told his friends that she had fabricated everything to paint him in a negative light and that she was playing the victim because she knew the public would support her. The fans were even more enraged by the direct charges. The internet pointed to a moment from Love and Hip Hop, Rasheeda, where Kirk advised Rasheeda to get an abortion while she was pregnant as evidence that Kirk had never really respected her. After social media was flooded with memes and threads describing Kirk's aggressive behavior, fans demanded that Rasheeda cut him off completely. However, it was another unexpected turn of events that went viral online when security camera footage purportedly revealed Kirk cheating on his wife and the moment he secretly tested his son's DNA behind Rasheeda's back. The blurry video, which was posted anonymously to a celebrity gossip portal, seems to show Kirk and Rasheeda fighting outside of a restaurant the night of the altercation. In the footage, Kirk roughly gripped Rasheeda's arm as she attempted to pull away. After a few seconds, he held up his hand as if he were going to hit her. The video went viral right away, but it stopped before it could confirm whether he actually made touch. Terrified supporters called for Kirk to be suspended indefinitely, and some even began to advocate for legal action, stating that Rasheeda needed to request a restraining order. Before he ultimately broke it in a badly shot, low-quality Instagram video, Kirk remained silent. Kirk seemed stressed and replied, "I know you've been hearing a lot of crazy stuff about me, but let me set the record straight. First off, I love my wife. I would never put my hands on Rasheeda like that. People are taking clips out of context, twisting the story, and trying to tear a black man down. I make mistakes, sure, but this is not what you think it is." Exaggerated, as well as Rasheeda's emotional state throughout her live performance. When he said that the surveillance tape was a hoax and that he was being painted as the villain, he said that no one took him seriously. Supporters flocked to the comment section, calling him a liar, a manipulator, and a narcissist. Even celebrities weren't holding back. Masek Kisha posted standard gaslighting 101, while Tamar Braxton, who had already spoken out, went L on Instagram to call Kirk out once more. Tokyo Vanity commented, "Ain't no out of context, you got caught. Take accountability like a grown man." It appears to have vanished entirely. By this point, Kirk's reputation was utterly ruined, and his attempts to repair it had only made matters worse. In the background, Rasheeda was still debating what to do. In addition to the public pressure, producers were calling her to ask if she would be ready to discuss the incident on Love and Hip Hop. Even while the network understood the dispute was a ratings goldmine, Rasheeda wasn't sure if she wanted to take advantage of it for the first time in a long time. The primary worry of all was if Rasheeda would finally leave Kirk, but then there was another startling discovery. A terrifying court record that was made public online purportedly showed that Rasheeda had already discussed the matter with the divorce lawyer a few days before the incident. If this were true, her real life was collapsing in front of the world, and her friends and family were also divided. Others, like numerous of their mutual acquaintances, advised her to weigh her alternatives before making any big decisions, while others, like Candy Burris, were urging her to leave Kirk permanently. Indicated that their marriage was already having major problems before this public outburst, and many people immediately assumed that Kirk had found out about Rasheeda's plan to leave him, which sparked the altercation. Some fans wondered if this was Rasheeda's final straw and if she had been planning her departure all along, while others conjectured that Kirk's rage was the result of his understanding he was losing control over her. But since Rasheeda hadn't confirmed or refuted anything, everyone just knew that something significant was about to occur, as the internet had speculated. The internet was ablaze with theories as rumors that Shia had sought legal advice from a divorce attorney spread like wildfire. Some fans were worried that Rasheeda may still give Kirk another chance, while others were positive that their relationship was done. While social media was blazing with speculative activity, Rasheeda made no moves for the next 3 days, posting nothing on Instagram and offering no explanation. Kirk was losing everything by the time the final bombshell dropped, including his company, his reputation, and maybe even his wife. Her supporters anxiously awaited her words, but she remained silent. While Kirk remained silent to avoid more criticism, the damage had already been done. Companies that had previously collaborated with him began to distance themselves. His huge endorsement deal with the men's fashion company was discreetly taken out of his biography, and his name was used on the marketing for the restaurant he and Rasheeda co-own, the Frost Bistro. A reliable industry insider recently revealed that VH1 authorities were thinking of completely severing their relationship with Kirk because reality TV has always been fueled by drama, and because Kirk's unfavorable attention to Love and Hip Hop infuriated the network. Producers have reportedly been frantically attempting to decide what to do with the plot. Because the network did not want to be associated with that kind of scandal, there were first discussions about eliminating him from the upcoming episodes. However, as the outcry grew, it became that Rasheeda was being offered a solo spin-off program that would focus on her life after Kirk, her businesses, and her experiences navigating the entertainment industry as a single woman was the biggest surprise, according to the same report. It was obvious that Kirk's time on the show was about to expire. Fans were going crazy about the idea, and many were already calling for Kirk to be fired. The strain was increased by the thought that Rasheeda might thrive without him. But before any of this could be confirmed, Rasheeda finally raised her voice, and everyone stopped to listen. She returned to Instagram with a single monochromatic picture of. The world was obviously on Rasheeda's side when she posted a picture of herself alone in front of a mirror with the caption, "New Beginnings." Within hours, the picture had millions of likes, and celebs and fans were commenting encouragingly. Sierra added, "You got this, sis, walk in your power." Gabrielle Union wrote, "Proud of you, keep shining." Cardi B, a longtime admirer of Rasheeda, commented, "Time, we've been waiting for you to boss up. Love you, queen." Following the altercation, Rasheeda filed for divorce from Kirk Frost, citing irreconcilable differences and a history of physical and emotional hardship in the marriage. According to the petition, she was also asking for sole ownership of their businesses and total control over their joint assets. In other words, instead of just leaving Kirk, Rasheeda was taking everything with her fans, who had been celebrating for years. That evening, official court documents confirming Rasheeda's formal divorce filing from Kirk Frost surfaced online, begged Rasheeda to leave Kirk, and she did just that. However, how would Kirk feel about this last betrayal? It didn't take long to find out. A few hours after the divorce documents were made public, Kirk appeared distressed, agitated, and desperate in a live Instagram video. He implored Rasheeda to change her mind. "You guys really think I'm the bad guy? You guys really think I deserve all this after everything I did for her, after everything we built together? Yes, I made mistakes, but this is cold," he kept saying. Rasheeda herself provided what was possibly the most ruthless response shortly after Kirk's live performance ended. She posted a video of herself smiling while sitting in a car and listening to Bayan's "Irreplaceable" on her Instagram story. In the comments area, he received harsh criticism from fans for playing the victim, but nobody was buying it. After years of disrespect, boy bye, one person commented, "Not Kirk trying to gaslight us," while another said, "Now he wants to cry. Where was this energy when he was cheating?" Meanwhile, Rasheeda was doing okay. She began to show up alone at work events, looking happier and more confident than ever. In an exclusive interview with a big entertainment firm, she even talked candidly about her decision to leave Kirk, saying, "I stayed for a long time because I believed in love, but at some point you have to believe in yourself more." It became a powerful statement for women in toxic relationships as soon as the quote went viral. In an exclusive interview, an enigmatic woman who claimed to have been Kirk's secret side chick for the past 2 years revealed all the details of how Kirk had been secretly moving behind Rasheeda's back while posing as a loyal spouse. Now, because she left him first, he's acting like the victim, even though he told me he was only waiting for the right time to break up with her. This shocking revelation was the last nail in Kirk's coffin, as the world officially canceled him and his. The rumors that were circulating about Rasheeda's new reality TV program made it obvious that her next chapter was just beginning. However, was Rasheeda's decision to leave Kirk the right one? Do you believe Kirk's version of events to be plausible, or is he just trying to save face? Let your thoughts wander. Even though her reputation had been completely destroyed, Rasheeda was living her best life without Kirk keeping her down after getting divorced and safeguarding her businesses. Rasheeda is finally taking the lead in what is turning out to be the most shocking dispute in hip-hop, rock, and love history. However, the story does not finish here. Do you think Rasheeda made the right decision in breaking up with Kirk? Or do you think there is more to this story than what we have seen? You are welcome to share your thoughts in the comments area. Remember, this is just the start of the rumors surrounding Kirk's extramarital affairs. Rush's career is about to expire, but she may have a new TV deal. If you want to be notified of any updates, be sure to click the subscribe button and enable post notifications. If you enjoyed this in-depth analysis of the drama, please click the like button to help keep the program locked in. When we return shortly, stay tuned for more exclusive updates on your favorite reality TV personalities. Keep it unpleasant, be sincere, and keep an eye out for the following shocking turn.